like your soul when it's shirtless, 'cause it's just like mine.
Alright, yesterday I derived the equation for the Lorentz transformation gamma, which is equal to 1 over under root 1 minus v square over c square. Alright, but I forgot to tell you why this transform is used for. Well, we use this transform because of different perspectives of people. Do you remember yesterday I gave you an example of two persons? One was on the train S prime and the other on the station S. They were both having different perspectives. That's the sort of reason they measured the speed of balls differently. And that's the reason why we have made this gamma transform. And we are gonna use this gamma transform to make an equation to describe time dilation. Alright, you remember the yesterday's two equations we made, x equals x prime plus vt prime and x prime equals x minus vt Because of different perspectives, we have to multiply both the equations with gamma. So it will be x prime plus vt prime, and substitute this equation here. We'll have under root 1 minus v square over c square. And this can be written as x prime plus vt prime times gamma. And now if you just substitute t prime with x prime over c, the speed of light, so we'll get x prime plus vx prime over c times gamma. Now we have to divide everything by the speed of light except this gamma. So we'll have x over c equals x prime over c plus vx prime over c square times gamma. And if you just notice, x over c, that means distance over any speed, that's time. Therefore t, that will be equals to x prime over c, that is t prime, plus vx prime over c square whole times gamma. Now using this equation, if I just took x equals 0, I mean x prime equals 0, because the person in S prime frame of reference will observe that he is stationary, and except him S is actually in motion, so we can just cancel this term out. We will have t equals t prime times gamma. Therefore t equals t prime over under root 1 minus v square over c square. This is our equation for time for the person S. Now the second equation we derived yesterday was x prime equals x minus vt times gamma. Well, this equation I told you here is the time of S, so not to be confused. Alright, yesterday we derived this equation. If we multiply it with gamma and substituted t by x over c, we will have x prime equals x minus vx over c times gamma. Dividing everything by c, we will have x over c square whole times gamma. Now x prime over c, that is equals to t prime, that will be x over c, that is simply t minus vx over c squared times gamma. And as I told you that S prime will say that he is actually at rest, instead S is moving, so x is equals 0, therefore we can just cancel this term out, and we'll have t prime equals t minus I'm so sorry, t prime equals t times gamma. This can be written as, therefore, t prime equals t over under root 1 minus v square over c square, and this is known as the time dilation. I want to clear something. In the equation of t equals t prime over under root 1 minus v square over c square, x prime was taken as 0 because s was saying that he's actually in motion, rather s prime is in motion. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, my bird was just disturbing me. I'm sorry. S is actually saying that he is at rest, and that's the sort of reason we took x prime equals 0. And here in the equation of time dilation, x is equals to 0 because s prime says that he is actually at rest, rather s prime is in motion. But according to special relativity, both the perspectives are equally right, so you can't say that anyone is wrong. So what time dilation actually means? Time dilation means that the faster you move, the slower you're moving. So when v equals c, t prime will be equals to 1 over 0. That's infinity. But the faster you move, when you move at the speed of light, the time should be 0, but it is showing me infinity. But that's just due to some mathematical terms, so not to be confused with that. I was getting stuck at some points. That's due to some birds who were disturbing me. There's a single bird who was disturbing me while I was making video, so I was unable to concentrate on that. So I'm sorry for that, where I was getting stuck at points, and also it's sometimes difficult for me to speak and write simultaneously, so I'm sorry. So it was the part 2 where I derived the equation for time dilation, t prime equals t over under root 1 minus v square over c square. In the next part, I will start with the Doppler effect, the relativistic Doppler effect. So stay connected and support. Thank you. Bye. Yeah, and one more thing I want to consider, that when I will complete this special relativity, you can find the whole series of that in my new playlist, Pursue M. Just check out from my channel, Pursue M. And after it created it, every video in that playlist is arranged in correct order where you can check them out. And at last, I will upload my theory, my secret physics works, and that is really working. Thank you. Bye.